Hello and welcome to this video. It's finally here, the New York City Marathon. My review, how it went, what it's all about, what it involved, getting to the start, the race itself, how you feel after. This is my story about the New York City Marathon. My name is Neil, Coach Marshy. Welcome back to those people returning to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to share the video if you got anything out of it or believe others can get anything out of it too. It makes a whole world of difference when people share, comment and like. So here's how it went in New York. So it's the Journey to New York Marathon, and surely I'm not going to get stuck in the basement unable to run New York for the third time. So there's a long story behind that, but long and short of it is the New York Marathon has been cancelled twice in history. Once for the devastating mess that Hurricane Sandy left. It was a late call from the mayor. Right decision back in 2012. I remember saying that at the time. I was here in New York then as well. I travelled first flight into JFK, and then subsequently it got called off once I was here, and we were here, me and my dad, visiting my sister, staying with my sister. And then I thought, all right, they're going to stay, so applied for 2020 ballot, got in, then COVID. So it's been cancelled twice in history. I am now here in the basement. This is where I'm staying. This is at my sister's house. I'm in the basement with my own little area. Nice and comfortable, that sofa bed behind as well, genuinely. So all good prep. Just done a bit of a stretch and mobility session this evening. And surely being stuck in the basement or something isn't going to happen this time. Couple of days to go. Surely it's time to run the New York Marathon, and hopefully I'll make it to that start line. The race will start. I'll have a good race, enjoy it, and I'll make it to the finish line of the New York Marathon. The journey to High Rocks also continues. My first solo High Rocks. Has it been ideal? No, COVID was in there. A couple of fall offs the wagon. Not horrendous, but just a couple of fall off the wagon. And so it might not have been absolutely perfect, but still going. The aim is big goals. I've got big goals coming up. So I can continue training. I'm on a program, and the program continues running now while I'm here as well, leading up to the marathon. Then I'll kind of have a nice rest day. Saturday, nice easy turn over the legs, and then Sunday hopefully will be the big day. Good morning, Sunday. Just gone 6 a.m. here in New York, and I'm on the way to the start. I'm on the way to the local train in Larchmont into the city. Not sure how long it'll take really. It'll take, it's quite a quick journey. And then on the 4 subway down to the Staten Island ferry, across to Staten Island. Ready for the start. Then it's that journey through the 5 boroughs of New York to Central Park. The 10-year journey to Central Park. Big one. Big. We make what is big in our lives. This is big. It's been a journey. Here we go. Love it. Boom. The Expo of the New York Marathon is like any other big event. If you've ever done a big event with a massive expo, you'll totally understand what it is I'm talking about and referring to now. But it was everything you'd expect it to be, but it was like massively on steroids for me. Very comparable to the London Marathon itself. I would say on the Friday that I went, it was clear that people had just arrived, luggage, suitcases. People had clearly got off the plane, almost gone straight to the Javits Centre to get their number because it was busy. And I would say the volunteers, New York Road Runner volunteers, they really dealt with it well. The queuing system was great. And actually once you were in, you didn't realise how many people were actually in there, and it's spread out like it would at any major expo. I can imagine the other majors are the same for the major marathons. I've done London, and the expo definitely lived up to similar levels to London. I don't think it was quite as good as London, but the expo was awesome and very well organised. Lots of information from a runner's perspective. It was really helpful to go through, almost virtually through the 5 boroughs, learn about what you were going to do. Did it help on the day? I'm not sure if it really helped on the day in terms of the physicality of running, but in terms of knowing what was coming, it was definitely great. Information wise, getting your race registration pack, learning about where your bag drop was, your travel to the start line, the transport, all of that. It comes across in the beginning and the emails that you receive that it's going to be a little bit pre-planned, and New York Road Runners probably cause a little bit of drama over the fact that you need to book your route to the start and your pre-bag check. The truth is, I hadn't done any of that. The people at the Expert New York Road Runners were very helpful, very accommodating. It's all subject to availability, but went on the Friday. They managed to get me transportation sorted to the start. The truth is, the Staten Island ferry is just open. If you've got a race number, no one checked what ferry I should be on. No one checked whether or not I was in the right place, and no one stopped anyone walking in there. Members of the public or spectators of individuals came in to the Staten Island ferry queue and just joined in. So there was maybe a bit too much drama over that for me. There could have been a lot less drama, but I see why they do it. It's for organisation purposes. Leading up to the New York Marathon, when you talk to anyone about the whole experience and how it's going to go, they talk about this really early start in the morning, all these bridges, and there's all these stories out there in the running community about what the New York Marathon will be. And I've got to be honest, now I've done it, I can say that everything you hear is true. But while you're doing it, you don't believe them. You don't believe it when you're going to the expo, when you're travelling to the start, when you're actually running. You don't believe any of this. And then when you're done, you know. And it's one of those real moments in the running community, in life, where if you know, you know. And if you don't, I would highly recommend that you experience the New York Marathon. The journey to, in this case, the start of the New York Marathon. Just at the subway, waiting to get the train, ready to go down to Staten Island, ferry point, crossing point, to then cross to Staten Island.
Si te sientes feliz con tu bola favorita, aún puedes participar ingresando a una hora posible. Buena suerte y que tengas una gran...
So just did a start pen, wasn't really sure what to expect here. But, this is the blue start, similar to London carousels or whatever they call them. So different start areas like in London, it's the blue start. Very fast, no toilet queue, absolutely no toilet queue whatsoever, which is cracking. And yeah, the sun's out, it is absolutely scorching here at the minute. I'm definitely overdressed for the start area, but that's good, prepare for all possibilities. Shorts and t-shirt now. So it is in the city, could get cold I guess in some of the avenues, but I guess we'll be working hard towards the end. So this is cool. Feel better. Bus ride, not too sure about the bus ride from the ferry. It's a lot of travel so far. I've taken the train, a ferry and a bus to get to the start, and an aeroplane coming over from the UK. So yeah, I guess the only way to Central Park now is to run. In the start line. It's the bridge in the start line, ready to go. Very much like London. Between the trees with the Italians, they're all buzzing. Absolutely love it.
El mensaje oficial de la carrera debe estar visible al ingresar al corredor. La pantalla indica su orden, color de inicio y letra del corredor. Solo los corredores asignados a la hora 2, hora 3 y hora 4.
One thing you hear a lot about prior to the New York Marathon itself is the bridges. Now, the truth is other than the bridge from Staten Island across to Brooklyn itself, there are no other bridges in the first half of the race. And I think people are ready for all these bridges, but the truth is you've got to run a half marathon. So you run over the bridge and that first mile is a shocker. You go up the bridge and you're at the top and then you take a deep breath in and then your day feels like it's going to start. Of course, mile 2, you're then going like the clappers down the other side, out of control, could have been a contributor to how my race actually went. And then once you're the other side, you've got until mile 13, when I say you literally run through the 13-mile marker as you take the next bridge. That next bridge is the bridge that takes you over to Queens. And that is long. It's not very steep, but it's enough of an incline. And you can see it for a long, long way. And it does get in your head. You've just gone through that halfway barrier and you think, oh no, look at that hill. That hill is huge, or that bridge is huge. And you're just thinking, have I really got to do this bridge? Well, at that stage, I had no idea what was really to come. So as you head out of Queens, so you've done Brooklyn, so you've done Staten Island, you've done Brooklyn, and now you've done Queens, and then you reach the Queensboro Bridge. The Queensboro Bridge. Wow. What a moment. For many reasons. Now, personally, my experience in terms of how I was feeling physically, it was hard. I definitely found the wall. I think many runners around me started to drop as well. I was kind of running going, yeah, I'm all right. What's going on? Why are all these people dropping? To only then realise, basically minutes, if not steps later, that I was also going to encounter and feel the same thing. And it was just a hard bridge. From Queens to Manhattan. Wow. What a moment. Mile 15. And things really changed for me on that Queensboro Bridge. I was halfway up it. And I could see I was halfway up it. And I just didn't understand. Didn't know. Couldn't compute. Even though I've got 10 individual marathons under my belt. Ultras, Ironman. I didn't know how I was going to actually make it physically to the top there. Because it was hard. And I'm not here to put anyone off. I'm just saying that it was one of those moments where, how on earth am I going to get to the top? However, that's where the city view to your left comes in. because if you can just take a look and draw that inspiration from over here, it really made a big difference. You could see that whole skyline, Chrysler, Empire State, you could see downtown. It was just awesome. What a moment. And it really did help me. And I got there. It took me 18 minutes to do that mile. That was hard. And then you reach that peak, and then you use the benefit of that bridge coming down all the way down to mile 16, by the way, from almost the top of the bridge where 15 is, you then down the other side to 16. That's the kind of distances we're talking about. And you get that benefit of going down the hill. And then what happens next underneath that bridge and on 2nd Avenue is unrivaled for me so far. So the story of 2nd Avenue, wow. Mile 16 up to the Bronx, mile 20. What a 4-mile stretch that is. And yes, the majority of that is a straight line up 2nd Avenue. And then at the end of 2nd Avenue, yes, you do meet another one of those bridges to take you from Manhattan to the borough of the Bronx. And wow, what an experience 2nd Avenue was. It's just a massive 4-lane road. Big road. Lots of space to run. Even though loads of runners were around me, the space was unbelievable. And the crowd on the side, I mean, we're talking about NYPD having to actually move people back and actually push them back. The crowd was electric. The feeling running down there, I saw a guy in a full Norwich City kit, said, "Oh, hello mate, you from Norfolk?" And he was from Norfolk, and it was from Norwich. And it was just great to see somebody that lived so proximately close to me in Cambridge, that was there on 2nd Avenue. A moment we could kind of savour together. How are you doing? How's it going for you today? Etc, etc. We exchanged those stories, and it was epic. All these people you didn't know, strangers talking, the side, screaming, getting you to G it up. Can you push more? And, you know, here's me at mile 18 and a bit, having a hard day, having a refuel. We kind of have a hard day here. What a city. It's like London, but on steroids. Unbelievable atmosphere. Breathtaking at some points. Couldn't even breathe. After the Queensway Bridge, the atmosphere was unreal. Completely electric. Never seen anything like it. But 18 and a bit miles in, just having a refuel. Having a refuel and a rethink of the strategy. 5.5 hours, it's in sight. Can still do that. It's a hot day. Loving it. It's hot as it is, much so I'm hurting. This is epic. Absolutely loving it. We'll see what happens. So then you reach the end of 2nd Avenue, and there it is, the bridge. Another bridge, and you're thinking from that halfway bridge from Brooklyn to Queens and then Queens to Manhattan, you're thinking, I've got to be done with bridges, right? No. The Bronx Bridge from 2nd Avenue to the Bronx. What a moment. 20 miles. Wow. Could you feel that bridge or what? There was nothing like it in the previous marathons that I'd run, ultras. Honestly, I'd prefer to spend time in the Peak District or the Lake District, because at least you're there taking on a natural structure. Whereas in New York, this man-made bridge, 2nd Avenue to the Bronx, and if you could see what we see as runners, wow, what a moment. You have to work hard, and people are dropping all around, myself included, and it was just a case of us all pulling together and getting over that bridge, walk, run, crawl, whatever we needed, and we did it. We got over it, and we got into the Bronx, and what a great atmosphere there was there. Boom boxes, people having a party on the street, people right behind you. It was such a good atmosphere there. People talk about that area as being a quiet area on the marathon. I have to be honest, that isn't my experience. My experience was there was a lot of people on the side. Maybe they don't come out for the elite runners. Maybe they're not at the tail end of the race. I don't know. But where I was, the people in the Bronx and the support that was given there was absolutely brilliant and almost second to none in terms of the enthusiasm and the effort that they put into each individual. And it's like they adopt you for that second or two that you run past. You're one of their own. They're looking after you in their neighbourhood. And, you know, they had all the stuff, the bananas, the fruit, the sweets, the pretzels, that you name it, they had it. It was great. In terms of needing that refuel at 20 as well to get to the end. And then you reach the bridge at 21 miles from the Bronx back to Manhattan to head towards the Harlem Park. So then you're in Harlem, this amazing part of New York, Upper Manhattan, and the support there was electric and great, as it had been all the way round. And then you reach this little round the park in Harlem, round the streets, but round the edge of the park, and it's a little kink on the map. And the support there was so unbelievably needed for me on my journey. It was something that I felt, an area that I felt I was really struggling in terms of physicality. You know, I could feel the calf. I'm not sure what energy I'd left. The adrenaline dumps, it was just like it had gone. And then you kind of carry on going and you end up on this straight, which I guess you don't realise is Park Avenue. And you're looking ahead and you can see like the spire at the top of the Empire State Building. You can see the top of the Empire State Building just sitting there. And it just gives you something to work towards. And then all of a sudden you realise that you've reached the corner of the park and that Central Park's here. And then you look and you think, I'm not sure I realised that Park Avenue is an incline. And at mile 23, let me tell you, that is the hardest mile I think I've ever ran in my whole running life so far. You can see the screen. They've got a screen of the finish line at various places, and the screen for the finish is well off in the distance at the top of Park Avenue, and you see it and you think, yeah, I can get there. And then it just keeps going up and up and up, and you would never know that Park Avenue was this way. I had to get on the phone. I looked at the phone, some great messages from back home that I read as I opened the phone. Had to get on the FaceTime to Michelle. That made a real difference. Then FaceTime a good running buddy in Joe, and she had a chat as well. And then a few messages backwards and forwards between me and a few of my regular running friends. And it did make a huge difference to me, and I needed that just to get into the park. And then at least when you get into the park at the top of Park Avenue, there is a little bit of relief going down to mile 24. And then 24 to 25, you're just working through it and hoping that you can find that 25-mile marker, which finally did arrive. As you hit that mile 25 marker, you're coming down towards that east bottom side of the park where you've got the Plaza Hotel and that section where the Big Apple store is, and they run you out of the park, and then there's a 1 mile to go marker just beyond that 25-mile marker, because then you've done your point 2 and it's 1 mile to go, and you head out of the park and you just got this skyline. It's amazing around you.
Tough day out. Wouldn't change it though. Absolutely loved every step of it. What a place. What a different way of looking at it. Really enjoyed it. As hard as today is. Really enjoyed it. Just coming out of the park. Then got to go back in to the park. Just going past that hotel in that film that all us 90 kids love. About 80s and 90s kids. Woo! Come on. It's over half a mile to go.
You then turn right and then you're up, down the bottom, across the bottom of the park, but on the street, and then it's back into the park. What a moment. What a feeling of relief for me. and you're down that home straight and you know that that finish line is coming. Unbelievable feeling, big emotion inside. I was really feeling it. I was really feeling that sense of achievement, that 11-year wait, that 11-year struggle to get back to the start line. Through no fault of my own, had missed it, and it was there. I was there. I was on that finish straight, and the emotion, it just keeps going. You just love and absorb every second, looking around, looking at those people, thinking, I have just done the New York Marathon. Enjoy this moment in the finish. And I did. And I was there. I was in the moment. I'm putting myself back there now. What a moment. Unbelievable.
Done. Oh, dear. I go into bed now. Made peace with that. Peace made. Loved it, New York. Absolutely buzzing. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to dare to dream. I made it happen. I'm going to do what properly makes me happy. Love it. Oh yes, it's done. 11 years in the making. Whew. Job done. Made peace with it. Hard run out there. Loved every step though, to be fair. As much as it was painful today, loved every step. New York City Major done. Tick. Boom. Oh, the emotion over the line. Wow. Boom. So as I mentioned, it had been 11 years in the making. 11 years. Hurricane Sandy, the pandemic, 2 times in history that the New York City Marathon had been cancelled, and I was on the start line for both, ready to go. Number collected for the 2012 New York Marathon, ready to, in Manhattan itself, ready to go. 2020, got the ballot place, late January, early February, whenever it was, ready to go. Pandemic, knew it was gone, and then I was back 11 years on, and I was ready, and I was excited, and I cannot believe that it is now done. What a moment for me. We make our own moments, we work hard, and I was there, and I've done it.